They will hype it. Saturday night's main event. And then it comes and you're like, did I miss something? They overhype everything, bro. And they tend to rarely deliver.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for another episode of Riding Russo. I'm here with the man himself, former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, former WWE head writer, former TNA head writer. He is Vince Russo. Off the frame, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, my brother?
Doctor, I am exhausted. My son and his wife came in today with the two little ones. I've been chasing the two little ones around all day, and I am absolutely out of gas, but here I am, Doctor.
Giving you a little bit of youthful vibrance, man. A little bit of youthful vibrance. Chasing the kids around.
Oof.
Wonderful.
Oof.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
We have a really cool green room chat, man. We catch up throughout the week in our green rooms, check and see how we're doing. We have 3 shows a week, so we don't have too much to catch up on, but we just check in on each other. And so today in our green room discussion, I sent Vince Russo a text of the largest fan bases in college football, in all of college football, and read is top 5. Read me 5-1 starting now. What do you got?
5-1.
5-1, and the number of fans too.
I'm gonna go 10. I'm gonna go 10-1, so it'll eat into our wrestling time.
Sounds good.
USC number 10, 4.46 million. Wisconsin number 9, 4.57 million. Alabama 8, 5.34 million. Oregon 7, 5.45 million. Florida 6, 5.89 mil. Michigan 5th, 6.26 mil. Penn State 4th, 6.36 mil. Texas 3rd, 7.82 mil. Notre Dame 2nd, 8.21 mil. Ohio State 11.26 million.
Not even
Bro,
close.
I was just reading an article before I came on the air. That's what I'm looking for now, Chris. It's not that I'm not paying attention. I'm looking for this for you. The article was Ohio State should sign Deion Sanders as their head coach. Are you hearing this chatter?
I have, yes.
And?
I'm not a fan of that decision, no.
Why is that?
I think Deion has tremendously, in just 1 year's time, transformed Colorado. They have an opportunity to be a 10-win season if they win their bowl game, from winning, 4 games last year?
Was it 4? I don't even know if it was 4. Was it 4?
I think they were 4-8. And to switch it to even do better, 9-3 as of now before their bowl game, that's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. I don't want. I'm really. My philosophy still stands, and nothing's proven it wrong since. My philosophy, and I've told you this before, is I want a former Ohio State player or someone from Ohio to be an Ohio State coach.
Okay, I can. I wouldn't argue with that, bro. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, Deion is wonderful. He's transformed Colorado. Colorado hasn't been, consistently. They made it a Big 12 championship. They didn't win the Big 12 probably 10, 12 years ago, something like that. It's been a while. But, they haven't been a consistent team since Cordell Stewart, and that was 94. That was 30 years ago. Yeah. So, they haven't been a threat, in the Big 12, and they went away and they came back. So, it's good to see, but Ohio State fans, as you see, that study was covered by Sports Illustrated, is the largest fan base, one of the most winningest teams. And so as the largest fan base, we have expectations. You can't just come in here, trial and error, give us 3 losses, 4 losses. We've had the most 10-win seasons, since in the past 50 years. I think it's been 50 years since we had a losing season. Like it's been crazy. 40, 50 years. It's been crazy. And so our expectations, we're not a rebuild team. We're a reload team. And that's a big difference. And so I want someone from Ohio or someone who used to play for Ohio State. Urban Meyer's from Ohio, 7-0 against Michigan. Jim Trussell was from Ohio, 9-1 against Michigan. Woody Hayes is an Ohioan, winning record against Michigan. So it's basically 60 years of proof that, Michigan guy. Earl Bruce had a winning record against Michigan too, but I don't think he's from Ohio. I think he's from Pennsylvania. But but at the same time, the expectation's huge. And Ryan Day, not an Ohioan. That's why he's lost 4 straight against Michigan. So that's my
Got it.
Yep. All right. So with that being said, for those who are here to listen to some wrestling events, we got some predictions to talk about. We got some, so far, 3 matches announced for the Netflix premiere on January 6th. I was fortunate to report the CM Punk Seth Rollins match, and I also reported that Roman Reigns would compete. Both of them were verified as of this past week from this taping, and we will see Roman Reigns against Solo Sikoa. We will see CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. The third match, based on the kind of the hype show for Netflix, the special that they had, was indeed Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, has been confirmed. It is official. Let's start there. Vince Russo, who do you have, Liv Morgan or Rhea Ripley for the World Women's Championship?
Well, I would say this, Chris. I think, Rhea Ripley is super over with the people. So she don't need the belt. Liv does. Liv, that belt and that title really helps Liv. Rhea Ripley will remain over whether or not she wins the title. She doesn't need the title. They just need to protect her in this match. But I think they should keep the title on Liv.
So I'd be okay with that. I think. Netflix. They're supposed to be. Triple A said they're booking it like a mini mania, and with these 3 matches.
Can I tell you something, Chris?
Go for it.
Raju, please take this down and play this clip across the world. I don't believe anything Triple H says. I really don't. He's comparing this to the Attitude Era. Saturday night's main event was an absolute flop. I don't believe anything the dude says. I don't believe anything he says. I don't believe anything Tony Khan says, bro. It's all talk, man. It's all chatter and it's all talk, and I stopped believing in anything they say a long time ago.
I think the mini WrestleMania statement is for hardcore fans. I think that statement.
I'll give you that. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, we're talking 2 different things, Chris. I'll give you. Okay.
Yeah, I think his intention, and I've said this before, Vince. Just about the sole demographic or the sole target audience are hardcore fans. We've both talked about it in countless amount of shows.
Yes.
Their desire to bring in casuals is virtually non-existent. And so with the fan base that they have, it is a mini WrestleMania because we both, since we're wrestling pundits, we get wrestling algorithms on socials, and we see people hyping this card. It's going to be cooking. It's going to be amazing. Take my money. It's going to be the best Raw ever. We start to think superlatives a lot of times when it comes to describing things, and especially a hardcore pro wrestling culture This feeds right into that target audience. A Punk Seth match, a Roman match on the first time in Raw in 2.5 years, and the other match, the Rhea and Liv match. This to a hardcore audience feels like a mini WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So his mini WrestleMania quote is completely true to the target audience.
Chris, you know what wrestling's biggest problem is, bro? I swear, you can look back you can go back to the Attitude Era, go back to 1999, and bro, I'm just gonna say the Attitude Era ended when Russo Ferrara left the WWE. I told Vince when we left, you have a year to ride this wave. Everything is set up for you. You can literally put it on cruise control for the next year. That's exactly what they did. It ended when Ferrara and Russo left. And I swear, bro, I think wrestling is the #1 industry. And I'm talking about across the board. They never live up to the hype, ever. Bro, you know what usually are the best shows, bro? Those that were not hyped. Like what comes to mind, is the Penguin on Max. That wasn't a hyped show. It was promoted and it was marketing and advertised. But now, bro, when you're really, you're really not expecting something. And then when you get this, everybody's talking about it. Wrestling's the complete opposite, man. They will hype it. Saturday night's main event. And then it comes and you're like, did I miss something? They overhype everything, bro. And they tend to rarely deliver.
Yeah. And it's interesting, man, because they overhype it to the crowd that's already overhyped. You know what I mean? So
Great point, Chris. Great point.
Because they do that, they feel like they're winning. You know what I mean? Because they do that. So
great point.
Yeah.
Great point.
So and again, when they see that, when they see the socials, when they see the hits on YouTube and the comments and things like that, they're like, okay, success. You know what I mean? And so it's difficult to extract what we see in modern day wrestling and compare it to Attitude Era because the target audiences are completely different. You know what I mean? Like in your era 25 years ago, the house are like, you already had the house. The house was going to buy a ticket regardless of what the card was. Your target audience were the casuals. You wanted to bring people in. I mean, that's a typical business model. You know, the people who are going to, like, I collect Jordans, for instance. People, sneakerheads and people who collect Jordans, for instance, they're going to buy a pair of Jordans as soon as it comes out full price. You know what I mean? Because you already have them, right? But if you're wanting to bring people in to start becoming a sneakerhead, maybe you might get a coupon off, maybe you might get a referral, refer a friend, you get this much off or whatever. So they're bringing in people to join, this, already, embedded crowd, so to speak. That was your model. That was your model in the Attitude Era. I'm going to bring in casual fans to increase numbers. Now their audience is, we're just going to keep feeding the audience that we already have because we know that they'll eat whatever we put on the table.